We're talking about my first 5 years in real estate. We're going to be recapping everything that's happened from going from having $0 in my bank account to becoming a millionaire and buying 15 rental units in under 5 years as a real estate investor. 5 years ago, I made this video. I was recently divorced, didn't have custody of my son. I was paying $700 a month in child support. I didn't own any property. I was a renter. I had a busted beater car, no college education, no money to my name at all, less than $1,000 in the bank, no connections or relationships with any successful investors. But I was inspired by the videos I'd been seeing online talking about achieving financial freedom through real estate investing. Now, for those of you who follow my channel for a while, you know that the purpose of this channel was to not be a fake guru.
Why should you watch? Let me tell you real quick, okay? I'm not trying to sell you anything. I don't want to sell you anything. I don't want you to buy anything from me, okay? I'm not trying to write books.
Somebody who's rich and wealthy, flaunting a lifestyle and telling you that they made it to that level of wealth by investing in real estate 20, maybe even 30 years ago in methods that no longer work or probably don't apply, and in ways that you can't even verify because they didn't document it and YouTube didn't exist yet. Now, my goal for this channel was to show you with video evidence a real person can start from zero and can become successful and retire due to financial freedom gained through real estate investing. And I wanted to do it all in real time, documenting everything here for you on video on YouTube. So over the last 5 years, since November of 2018, I've been making videos documenting every rental I've purchased in the entire real estate investing journey. So what we're going to do now is decide whether or not you think I've been successful. What should I have done differently? And what am I going to do next? I'm going to let you guys be the judge, so let me know down in the comments section. Now, to keep this video on topic, I'm going to review every property that I purchased briefly. What the purchase price was, what it's valued at today, what it rented for day one, and what it rents for now. We're going to take a look at my overall cash flow and decide whether or not you think that I've wasted or capitalized on the last 5 years. So let's jump right in. So this is the one that started it all. In 2018, I bought this duplex that I'm currently house hacking for $450,000. It was recently appraised for the purposes of obtaining a HELOC for $800,000. Now, picking up $350,000 in equity feels pretty good, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Initially, it was renting for $1,600 a month per side, but the last time I had a long-term tenant in there, it was renting for $2,150 a month per side. But when they moved out, I transitioned to Airbnb, and my first full month of Airbnb just ended, and I made $2,840 in that 1 month. Now, the mortgage payment on this house is $2,500 a month. So because this property generates enough income to pay for itself, I'm breaking even. But don't forget that I actually live in the other side of this duplex. So I've been living for free, which is an absolute win, for almost 5 years thanks to house hacking. It's how everybody should get started investing in real estate. Now, again, for those of you who don't know my story, let me explain what I did next. I decided that it wasn't going to be easy to continue to buy expensive real estate in a hyper-inflated market like Seattle, so I started looking for markets in the Midwest that I could make purchases in for a better price. Well, that led me to Indiana, and more specifically, Gary, Indiana, or as I affectionately like to call it, the Gotham City of the Midwest. Now, I bought my first rental in Gary, Indiana in June of 2020. For $60,000. That now has an estimated value of about $72,000. And you might be saying to yourself, well, that's kind of a small amount of appreciation. It's only $12,000. It's really not that much. And you're right, it's not that much, but it was 20% of the overall purchase price. Now, initially, this rental was rented at $900 a month, but right now it's rented for $1,200 a month with only a $389 monthly mortgage payment. I then bought my second property, a little rental in Indiana on 13th Street. Now, this house has remained rented to the same tenant ever since I first rented it out. A private tenant who's never missed a payment one time. They rented it initially for $900 a month, but now it's currently at $1,000 a month 3 years later. Mortgage payment on this property, $375 a month. Now, finally, the last house that I bought in 2020 was my first seller finance deal. Now, this was a $34,000 house that I only had to put 20% down on, which means I only came out of pocket $7,000. It rented for $750 a month at the time. Years later, as the tenants moved out, I did remodel it, and now it's renting for $1,164 a month. It's a $400+ increase right there. It's got a Section 8 tenant in there paying, and I only have a $301 a month mortgage payment. Now, moving into the year 2021, I was able to pick up a single family house for $69,000. It initially rented for $1,050, but it now rents for $1,150. My original mortgage payment was $450, but unfortunately because of tax increases in Gary, my new mortgage payment is $550. So this property is still cash flowing, just not quite as well as I wish it was. Now, I also picked up another duplex in 2021 on seller financing. Initially, the duplex was rented for $750 a side. This was also my first eviction, by the way. I bought the property knowing that I was going to have to do an eviction because one of the tenants was on house arrest. And not on house arrest in my house, but on house arrest at his mama's house in a different state. A little embarrassing, but whatever. After remodeling both sides and putting new tenants in there, I now have 2 Section 8 tenants, one paying $950 a month, the other paying $1,150 a month, for a total of $2,200 a month in rental income with a mortgage payment of $825. Now, moving into 2022, I decided to try my hand at the BRRRR strategy. Come to find out, it was the single worst time to attempt the BRRRR strategy in the history of our country. And you might be asking yourself, well, why is that? Well, the answer is pretty simple. Interest rates went from 3% to 6% in the fastest time ever. It was the fastest rise in interest rates that we've ever seen in our history. This meant that my projected cash flow when I purchased the property got annihilated because the interest rate ate up most of that profit. Now, that being said, because it's your boy Mike and I'm a real estate G, I still came out on top. I estimate everything extremely conservatively, and I partner with people who are experts at what they do so that I get the best advice and help that I can. Now, I still managed to make these deals cash flow positively. I purchased the first house in Chicago for $62,500, remodeled it, now has an after repair value of $90,000, rents for $1,295 a month with a $681 mortgage payment. Now, my big winner, I purchased for $29,000, remodeled it, and it was worth $134,000 afterwards. I only had to put $25K into it. So I picked up $79,000 in equity, rented it out for $1,250 a month with a monthly mortgage payment of $650. Not too bad. Now, neither one of these cash flow as well as I would have liked, and that's mostly because the interest rates on these properties are in the 7s instead of the 5s or the 4s. Or even the 3s, like I could have gotten if I just started these projects 6 months earlier. But no big deal. I picked up some equity, still have cash flowing properties that are newly remodeled, and will do nothing but increase in value and rent over time. Moral of the story, even when I take an L, it's just a lowercase one. Now we move into year 2023, year 4 of my journey, and I purchased a triplex right off the MLS, all cash, using a home equity line of credit to fund the deal. But this time I brought in my first private investor to pay myself back all my original money and pay the investor 10% of their money a year, locked in for the next 5 years with an adjustable time frame up to 8 years. That's right, she's making 10% on her money, no questions asked. She gets a check out of the cash flow from the rental property every month, no problem. I put about $30,000 into this property to remodel it, and now I have 3 separate units that each rent for $900 a month, bringing the total rental income for this triplex up to $2,700 a month. Now, my private investor gets $500 a month, taxes and insurance is another $300, total payment of around $800. I do pay some utilities and those fluctuate, so to estimate on the conservative side, I'm gonna say that I pay out about $1,100 a month on this property to operate it when I make all the payments that I need to. From there, we do have a property manager, vacancies and maintenance need to be set aside. If you do want the full detailed breakdown on this or any of the properties I've been talking about, I will put the links in the description below. I don't have enough time to cover the ins and outs of every single one, but as you can see, all of these properties are cash flowing nicely. Oh, and that's right, the after repair value on that triplex, $200K. It's no big deal, it's not like I doubled my money or anything. Lastly, bringing us up to date, closing out 2023 and sliding in just under the close of my first 5 years is the duplex that I just closed on. Another seller financing deal where I actually am still looking for a private money investor who wants to make 10% on their money, so hit me up on Instagram if you're interested. But I purchased it for $20,000, came out of pocket $3,000 in terms of a down payment, and have a $400 a month payment with a 0% interest, because that's how I negotiate. That means that over the next 36 months, the property will get paid off and I'll own it outright. Now this one is still under construction, but based on my experience in the market, the total rent should be around $2,200, $900 for the smaller unit, $1,100 for the larger unit, with about $800 coming out of my pocket to pay property managers, vacancies, maintenance, and the payment. You know what that sounds like? Cash flow. Is that running water? Is there a rushing waterfall in the background? Oh no, that's all the cash flow just sprinting by. All right, it's cheesy, whatever. I mean, you guys have come to expect this of me, no big deal. Again, that's not a bad profit, and I estimate that I'm going to pick up some serious equity from the $20,000 purchase price with only $10K in remodels to the new after repair value, which should be around $120,000 to $150,000. Now let's do a total recap. That's 10 properties purchased in 5 years, 15 total units, 1 triplex, 3 duplexes, 6 single-family homes, 1 Airbnb, 3 seller finance deals, 2 private money deals, 2 wholesale purchase deals, 1 turnkey property provider, and in 3 different states. And if we go off the most important metric over the last 5 years, how many girlfriends have I had without getting locked down in a marriage? I don't know, like 6 or 7. I'd say that I've been crushing it. But let me know down in the comments below what you think. And if you've made it this far, seriously, please consider liking the video and subbing to the channel. I really do try to get my message out there to more people, and every little bit really helps. Now, these were the numbers breakdown. This is what I've actually purchased, the actual cash flow I have. But I'll tell you, it is not the most valuable thing that's happened to me in the last 5 years. These are not the most life-changing things that I've done. These are the tangible, real values that you can look at and easily measure, the equity, the cash flow. But what can't be measured is what I've learned, and more importantly, the people that I've met. Now, I know it's cliche and cheesy to say it's not about the destination, it's about the people you meet along the journey. I get it, it's cheesy to say that, but it's absolutely true. When I first made that video all those years ago, I had 0 followers on YouTube. Clearly, I sucked at editing, I had garbage equipment, everything looked low resolution, and I felt very uncomfortable and awkward in front of a camera. Now I've got 7,500 subscribers on YouTube, 3,000 plus followers on Instagram. And don't get me wrong, I don't qualify the value of my life based on how many people subscribe or follow my content. But what it means is that at some point, I said something or made a video in front of enough people that over 7,500 of you have said to yourselves, I want to see more of what that guy is doing. 3,000 of you have reached out to me on Instagram to follow what I'm doing, and thousands of you have messaged me over the years. I've had countless conversations providing insight, giving advice, spitballing ideas back and forth about markets or deals or strategies. I've had the opportunity to meet so many people and learn so many new things. That knowledge and the experiences that come with it, you cannot put a price tag on. I mean, for me, it's truly priceless. And those are just the ones of you that I've actually met that I would consider acquaintances and friends. If I actually look at the people I've met who are now lifelong friends, and some I would even consider family, people like the 3 amigos, Zuber, the lumberjack, and Dion, these are the people whose families I've met. We've hung out, we've spent time together, we've gone out and eaten together, we've given each other advice, we've strategized, we've worked on this together. The real benefit of the last 5 years was getting to say that I've become good personal friends with some of the most inspiring, hardworking, motivated, dedicated people that exist on the planet, and certainly that exist within the real estate investing advice section of the internet. These are good people who really care about other people. They want to help, they want to inspire. They're successful, they're intelligent, they're competent, they're funny, they're talented, and these guys are just a text away, one phone call. If I told myself in 2017 or 2018 that 5 years from now you're going to be able to pull your phone out and call or text any 10 different people with net worths of $1 million or $5 million or $50 million, I don't know if I would have believed it. All right, look, I'm kind of an arrogant son of a gun, so I probably would have believed it. And I would have told my future self, well, yeah, absolutely. I'm not the kind of person who gives up. I never quit. I work as hard as I can. And that's what I want for myself. So I'm going to go out there and meet those people. But I do think that it's important to have faith in yourself, even if it borders on being a little arrogant at times. It's important to have faith that you're capable of doing things that seem outlandish or crazy or even unattainable. Now, I don't know if I would have believed that I got to where I'm at now in the time frame that I made it, or if I would have managed to get there taking the steps I've taken, but it would be a lie to say that for my entire life, I've always thought that I was capable of achieving great things and accomplishing great things. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be successful and rich and wealthy. Now, that might be the product of growing up dirt poor on Section 8 and food stamps myself, or maybe I was just born with something a little bit off in my head that made me want to outwork everybody. and everything all the time, always, until I win. The people that I've met, the relationships that I have, that is the most valuable thing. The accomplishments of becoming a real estate investor, I'm proud of, don't get me wrong. But for those of you who don't know, I've done this entire journey as a single father with full custody of my son by myself. I didn't have custody of him initially when I got divorced, but I got sole custody of him in 2019. I've been doing this on my own. No child support payments, no government assistance. So for the single parents out there who are wondering if they can make it work, if they can invest in real estate, if they'll have the opportunity, the short answer is yeah, you do. You can. It is possible. You just have to work harder than other people. You're going to have to make sacrifices. I did, and I did all of this while working a full-time job as a law enforcement officer, and my 5-year anniversary of getting on the SWAT team is 2 months after my 5-year anniversary of becoming an investor. I've had countless sleepless nights getting called out to respond to extremely dangerous incidents, and barricaded subjects, and hostage rescue. I've been shot at, people have tried to kill me, stab me, I've tortured my body with excruciatingly painful physical workouts, I've been gassed, I've been smoked, I've been beaten up, beaten down, and made all the better for it. Now, hopefully this doesn't just sound like me being an arrogant jerk or bragging, even though I jokingly say that I'm arrogant all the time. I don't actually want that to be my brand. I can't believe that it's actually been 5 years since I first got my first investment property. Time flies. It's hard to look back and watch some of those videos of me looking like a dork, not knowing what I'm doing, just winging it, having faith in the process, but it is also inspiring to look back at these videos and see how far I've come. See what's possible if you believe in yourself. And what I want you, the viewers of my channel, and for those of you who are actually watching this video, even though it'll probably only be a couple hundred, what I want you to take away from this message is that you can do it too. You can buy real estate, create passive income, bring cash flow into your life, supplement your regular income, build it into a large enough flow that you can retire from your day job and get a little freedom back. You can join a new network. You can make new friends. You can meet people who are going to change your life. You can do the things that you never thought you were capable of. You can work harder, get in shape, learn a new talent or skill, learn self-defense. You can help the people around you, be an inspiration to your children and your friends and your family and your parents and your grandparents. You can make a YouTube channel or an Instagram page. Maybe it's crappy like mine, or maybe you actually reach out and inspire and touch the lives of thousands, maybe even millions of people. You just have to believe in yourself. And I really don't know why you wouldn't. I believe in you guys. I've seen what you're capable of. I've seen so many people message me with nothing, and now they've got their first, second, third, fourth, fifth rental property. I've seen people reach out to me who were single parents, unsure of themselves, not making much money, but they never gave up. They worked harder, and I've watched them accomplish amazing things. I've also seen a lot of people say that they're gonna get started, and then for whatever reason, they fall off the bandwagon, choose a different path. And for these people, I wish them nothing but the best, and I'm happy for you, and if you're happy, I'm happy. And if you ever want to come back, I'll be here for you. I just turned 28 when I got started, and now I just turned 33. I hate celebrating birthdays, and I've hated it my whole life. I hate that the slow march of time stops for no man. And I think the reason that I hate my birthday in particular, ever since I was a kid, is that I hate seeing how quickly time passes. It moves at a rate so much faster than I'm accomplishing my goals. And every time that it gets marked out on the calendar with a new year or a birthday, I have to sit there and say that I'm not as far along as I wish that I was, and that just eats me up inside. Every year I fall further behind and I'm never gonna catch up. It's a race I'm gonna lose. But I'm not gonna lose it without at least giving it my best shot, trying to go out with a bang. It might drive me crazy. It definitely keeps me up at night. I can't sleep because there's so many people that I still have to meet, help, and learn from. There's so many things that I'm still trying to do and accomplish and build. And time is just sprinting by. Like my son just turned 7 years old, and I could hold him in my hand yesterday. And it wasn't yesterday, it was a long time ago. But I remember it like it was yesterday. Time is the most precious resource you can have. I'm doing my absolute best not to waste it. As one of my good friends, Dion, loves to say, you're going to be alive in 5 years. So start investing like it today. The number one goal that I have for all of my fans and friends and followers is to live an absolutely fantastic life, to be strong and capable and competent and inspiring to those around you. This channel isn't just for me, it's for you. It's for you to encourage you, to prove that it's possible, to show you that even though there's a bunch of fake gurus and fake influencers selling snake oil, that if you take the right steps and make the right sacrifices, that you can do it. You can do better than me, and you should. You deserve it. Your family deserves it from you. And the world deserves good people like you winning. So why don't you get out there and kick a little bit of ass? Do it for me. I appreciate you guys, as always, for watching. And I'll see you in another 5 years for the 10-year recap.